Is life truly meaningless? Johan's crusade to erase himself reaches a breaking point. Throughout Johan's life, all the people in his life were trying to use him for their own purposes. Born into this world as a product of the goals of other people's scientific experimentations, whisked away from orphanage to orphanage, from family to family, like a feather moving to the bends of the winds of fate, he was either pedestalized or left for dead, with no choice in the matter. Never seen or treated as human, as an end in and of himself, always viewed as a tool, as something to be used by another, and never truly loved. But Tenma did show this love to Johan. He did treat him as an equal, not as a tool to be used or as a superior, but as an equal, without preference. If Johan can cause this Tenma, the man who saved his life, to be the same man to take his life, then Johan will have succeeded in proving that Tenma is no different than he is, or any other human in this world. That even the best that humanity has to offer, a selfless doctor, can be the same as the worst humanity has to offer in a mass murderer. That it wasn't my fault for the monster I have become. Now Tenma too will be manipulated and programmed just as I was. He will serve as a proxy for humanity, who will come to understand that even Tenma too can kill and become a monster. Know that anyone can become a monster, as long as the proper buttons are pushed. Just as Johan is a robot of the programming of fate, so too is every human. Robots who can be manipulated and molded into whatever Johan wants them to be, given the appropriate stimuli. Again emerges the concept that humans can become whatever they want to be. Thus, throughout the course of the narrative, invariably Johan seeks to subvert morality itself, seeking to constantly demonstrate that ultimately there is no right or wrong, only the human instinct for its own survival. Is all life truly equal? Or when it comes down to it, won't you place your own life above all else? In that moment of life and death, what prevails is the instinct for one's own survival. Fear and death is the great equalizer of men. As Johan has no name, identity, or ego, he acts as a perfect mirror, reflecting the dark nature of humanity onto itself. He only reflected Detective Braun's lies back onto himself, conveying to him a dark truth, a reality that he so desperately didn't want to accept. A truth that, when exposed, plunged him into the depths of hopelessness and prompted his suicide. Like a light, Johan exposes the truth hidden in the darkness. He did not coerce anyone. Those who killed for him were other disaffected, disillusioned, alienated and maladapted peoples. Humans that society had forgotten and left behind. Humans who we unknowingly walk by every day on the street. Humans with traumatic pasts. Humans who were never truly loved. And humans who only needed a slight nudge into the depths of indifference, meaninglessness, and nihilism to act out their most inner depraved and repressed desires and realities. Johan is someone who believes they have the entire world figured out. From his days at Kinderheim to operating a multinational business enterprise, all while orchestrating murders across Germany, he's always had it all figured out. The life humans value so much, ethical notions of right and wrong, conventions and ideals of so-called love and forgiveness, he concludes these values are non-existent, meaningless, and absurd. The culmination of nihilism and the absurdity of life is suicide. is the antithesis of self, of love for oneself, for others, and for the world. It's the antithesis of connection and the logical conclusion of indifference and nihilism. Because life is ultimately meaningless, the ultimate question is, why not simply commit suicide? And thus, Johan's ultimate plan is to commit the perfect suicide. That is, not only taking his own life, but removing all memory of his very existence from this world, such that it would be as if he were never even born. Johan has deemed it preferable to have never even been born, to never have even existed, than it is to continue living. For Johan, suicide is also a chance to take his destiny into his own hands. As the product of a now defunct eugenics experiment, he is the culmination of causality without a purpose. As after the experiment was called off, the purpose of the experiment was also nullified. Through suicide, Johan would finally be breaking free from the emptiness of an externally imposed, meaningless destiny. Ultimately, Johan wants to commit suicide by murder, at the hands of the man who had once saved his life, to prove the absurdity of morality, the meaninglessness of life, the unequal nature of life, but also to turn Tenma into a monster, so that there would finally be someone who could understand him. Tenma would become the new monster. But Johan's ultimate suicide was not a new plan that Johan had concocted, but rather it was a return to a previous state. To this point, Johan is a nameless monster, on a rampage devouring everyone who stands in his way. But as his memories returned, Johan had realized that he wasn't always the nameless monster. That the monster wasn't always within him, but it had consumed him from the outside and stolen his true name. The moment in the library where Johan reads the Nameless Monster picture book, the same book he was holding as a child in the Three Frogs Inn, sets Johan on a new path of uncovering his past, which prompts him to haphazardly relinquish his plans of taking over the Schuwald estate and to return to his hometown and reinvestigate his roots at the Red Rose Mansion and the Three Frogs Inn, and to find the original monster in Bonaparte. And once his memory had returned, so too did his goal for the ultimate suicide return. Because it turns out, from the day Anna had returned from the Red Rose Mansion and recounted her story of unimaginable horror, Johan had taken a vow to protect his sister from those very men, but in his own twisted and misguided way. As a result of this vow, he would kill all of their adoptive parents once their past was beginning to be uncovered, so that Franz Bonaparte and those evil men would never be able to find Anna again. This culminated in the murder of the Lieberts, but this time Anna had discovered him in the act. She had uncovered the truth that Johan had been the one behind the murders of their caretakers over the years, and at that moment, she shot Johan right where he was pointing, dead in the center of his head. There was no forgiveness. Perhaps at that moment, Johan wanted to be discovered by Anna. He wanted to die so that the memories of their past would also die along with him. Perhaps Johan believed that as long as he existed, the experiment would never end. Those men would always be after them, and Anna would never be safe. Is it possible to become more than a product of trauma? Our journey ends next.